got off the ice, we're taking a photo with all these German guys, and it's a really odd thought. Our fathers were fighting against one another, and here their sons are playing hockey together. So what an awesome thing that is, you know.
So I guess maybe that first goal. You get your first goal overseas, it's a big thing. The team makes a big thing about it. But overall, the sights, the camaraderie, the people you meet.
The joking and the kidding around with everybody, that's just the best part. That's what makes the trip. The hockey is great. We all have a good time, and we get to meet new people. Most of the tour, of course, is the same as always, like most of the guys, the core. But then you get some new people coming in, like yourself, and then we got Kevin, and it just makes for a great time. So the whole trip is actually special.
The veterans keep coming back for a reason, and there's some advice for the future Heartbreakers.
You got to come with an open mind, and you got to let every person be who they are, because you can't put your morals or your ideas on someone else, because everyone's different type of thing. And you got to join in. You got to join in with everybody, and you'll have a great time. Always have a great time.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Definitely. Definitely. I mean, you know, some of the greatest movies that were ever made have always had, you know, the underlying theme has always been, you know, dreams can come true, and follow your dreams.
But the dream of a perfect tour was coming to a screeching halt against the Innsbruck newcomers, a younger team with speed and a few moves. It was evident that the pace of this game was going to be more than the Canadians are used to, and every bounce was going to be crucial. The Austrians had a plan to break out quick, and maybe the 3 games and 3 nights were starting to wear down the Canadians, as the bounces were definitely in the home team's favor. Things were even starting to get physical. The first European team to challenge the Heartbreakers in the trenches. It was all Austria in the first period. The slap shot from the top of the circle made it 4-1. Then another roofer, and the lead was 4. But the mother of all comebacks begins in the second period. A chance to open up the ice. Dave Springett is in behind everyone. To the roof, makes it 5-2. More from the guys in white. James Pollard has his second of the game. And lead was just 1 when Sanders muscles off a piggybacking defender and shovels home the backhand. And the goaltending was following the lead of the pressure-filled forwards. But the mountain of a lead can't be toppled. Austria 6, Canada 5. Day 7 was time to relax as long as Mother Nature would cooperate. The team split up with half hitting the Alps for a day of skiing, while the rest made their way through some of the largest snowflakes on the planet to reach Italy. This is Vipitino, Italy. It's about a half-an-hour drive from the Austrian border. It's a tiny town lost in time, strictly used for shopping by the weary Canadian tourists. Stay right there. The last chapter for the 9th Heartbreakers Tour takes Team Canada to Munich. Living a Dream returns right after this. One final picture before the beginning of the end. It's about a 2-hour drive through the Alps to Munich, Germany, and it's hard not to get wrapped up in the history of this very different world. But now it's time to face an old rival, the Munich Stiff Sticks, the team that has the talent and just as much speed as the team from Innsbruck. Bookbinder makes the first save early, but the back check is nowhere to be found. It's 1-0. Quickly, it's 2-0 when the rebound will not be cleared. Instead, it's in the net. The Heartbreakers finally hit the scoreboard, and once again, it's the forecheck that turns the tide. James Pollard, with the great patience to outweight everyone and picks the corner, who cuts the lead in half. But the number 2 line really starts to click. Chris Douglas threads the crease to a waiting Lee Sanders stick. And on the very same shift, the roles are reversed. This time it's Sanders as a setup man for Douglas. 2 great goals to get Canada back into this game. And the point men pitch in as well. Through a screen, Canada has the lead for the first time in this game. The hard-driving Sanders starts to put the game out of reach, barreling in to go far side. And this is a plan play. Dan Fraser scores his 12th of the tour. Later, he's back, shakes off the defense, tucks it under the crossbar for goal number 13. And the goaltending was back. Kevin Tremblay from Thunder Bay stays square on the breakaway. And there's a hat trick in the waiting for Fraser. This goal is number 14. It's a new tour record. Who said fan shots are a bad thing? The deflection right to Douglas for his second of the night. The tour finishes with smiles all around. It's a 12-6 Canada win, and the Heartbreakers head home with a 4-1 record. And another thank you for the royal treatment.
Oh, never on the ground. Never on the ground.
That's black.
Hey!
This is the hard part now. I think we're facing a long trip tomorrow, and there's no more games, so it's definitely coming down now.
Was this the last goal ever scored in Heartbreakers history, and was this the last tour?
We probably have to wait a little bit, maybe wait a month or two and see. It all depends on if we get the right guys. You never want to say never, but it would depend on a few factors before it would come off again. I hope it does.
For Springett, if it does end, it ends 22 years of international hockey and would close a huge chapter in his life.
It's a huge part. And, you know, the question I get asked a lot is, well, if I don't do this, what am I going to do? So I got to think about that, too. So, but I sure like it, and I think everyone likes it, too.
A 4-1 record and a new record for most goals scored on tour. But more importantly, we found friends for life. So where does this team rank?
This has to be the best or one of the best. Probably the best. We had a good mix of guys. We had a good itinerary. We had good games. We had good sightseeing. The chemistry in the room was great. So you've got to put this down as one of the best tours. And I think if you ask everybody, they'll all tell you the same thing.